G'day, John here. Welcome to my shop. This week's video is about a bowl within a bowl. This one is your typical dip chips and made out of Norfolk Pine. Turned out pretty well. In particular, this video had a serious bowl catch right at the end. I'll put a marker up here somewhere, maybe this side, whatever, of where that catch actually happens. I debated whether or not to have the catch inside the video or not, but it happens to us all, and it was a silly mistake on my part. You'll see in the video I turned the actual foot off, and it was getting deeper and deeper, and making a shallower bowl, making room for the badge to go on the back. I ended up with probably about an inch and a half-inch diameter nub that the tailstock was leaning into, and it got just a little bit too far, and then the next thing happened, and always accidents happen within not just one thing happening, but several things happening, and the bowl gouge caught the edge of the bowl and it flew off the lathe. Of course, I was never in the way. You always, when you turn these bowls, you make sure you're not standing in front of the bowl, but always to the side. So, no damage or harm done to me, but the bowl took a bit of a hard hitting. So, anyway, on with this. Enough chat for me. Let's chuck the bowl blank on the lathe. You go straight to the catch if you wish. Otherwise, just see how this bowl is made. Cheers. So the bowl blank started off square on bandsaw, made it round, and it's on the lathe centres as usual, just roughing out the material, creating a foot at the bottom of the bowl bank, and I'm using a 5.5-inch bowl gouge initially, but I switch over pretty quick to the Hunter's tool go-to. It's a cupped scraper, and this tool really does get the material out really, really quick, and you can see the shavings that are coming off. Very long, stringy shavings, and it's probably the best tool for roughing. You can see there, it's called the Hercules from Hunter Tools, and quite a good tool. Switching back to the 5/8 bowl gouge, just doing a shear scrape there to smooth off the surface. One thing, the Norfolk Pine wood is a real joy to turn. It's dry, moisture contents below the 12%. You can see here now, I've got a container of onion dip, my favourite, and I'm using that particular container to measure up the centre bowl. Pretty well standard in terms of size of the dip containers. I wanted the top of it just be flush with that top of the bowl, so didn't want to go too deep. Otherwise, it's a bit of a pain to get it out. So switching over now to the Osprey Hunter tool. It's a smaller cupped scraper, and the end of the scraper it's angled to the left, so it's probably about the only tool that you can get into some of the deep recesses of a bowl. It's worthwhile checking that one out from Hunter Tools. See, now I've got the bowl width all set up, and the depth. Now just roughing out the material between the inner bowl and the outer bowl. So this will obviously hold the chips, biscuits or whatever else want to use a bowl for. I try to keep the volume area as open as possible, so making the walls of the bowl as thin as possible. See here now, trying to take both walls for as thin as I possibly can. Pretty soon the actual tool rubs against the edge of the outer bowl, so it could only go so deep, but it worked out in the end. It's just a little patience and making sure we got the angles correct. Definitely outside of any bowl gouge that I use. I use a 55-degree bowl gouge. Really would be better to have maybe a 40-degree with the heel shaved off. Might reach down to the bottom of that bowl. Up to the sanding now, and I won't bore you with that detail, but it's from 120 grit to 320 grit, and I use a 3-inch sanding pad, and for the areas I can't get into I just use plain old sandpaper. On with the sanding sealer, just to seal off areas of the wood that are left open. Some of the end grain, doesn't matter how hard I try to make that as smooth, it wasn't really to my satisfaction, so I use the sanding sealer, then sand back. So there's a lot of sanding involved in this because of that end grain. It's quite open. I use the Axe abrasive sanding paste. It's probably one of the best as a primary finishing. I use the Axe polish later, as you will see. Those two products together with this type of wood is all you need. It doesn't need to be sprayed with anything. Both these two products are food safe, and there's definitely food going to be used in it. 3 shots angling here of the bowl. So bowls finished on the outside and the inside. Turning it over, there's the foot that needs to be removed. I use the Vicmark 150 chuck. It goes to 5 inches, so it's all that's needed to hold a piece of timber that's as light as this. So now I've replaced the chuck with a pressure chuck, which is simply a 20-inch, 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood, 20 inches in diameter, and a high density foam glued to the side, so the bowl's pushed against that foam and the plywood disc, and then the tailstock is brought up and pressure pushes that against the rubber and holds it firmly in place. You can spin this around 900, 1100 RPM, and you'll see in a moment. Bring on the 5/8 bowl gouge just to remove that foot slowly but surely. It's around here that as I'm removing the foot, I'm leaving behind maybe a 1/2 inch nub to have the tool rest, not tool rest, I'm sorry, the tailstock pushing against the bowl and keeping it in place. What I should have done in hindsight was to remove that nub earlier, but I didn't, and of course this is what happens as the foot is slowly but surely removed. That nub gets taller and taller, and then I have a touch to the side of the bowl. I didn't like it at all. Little slow-mo replay. But as you see there, the bowl has taken a hit on the side. The bowl goes stuck straight into that wood. A little chip on the top, but nothing that couldn't be refixed. It wasn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse. Bowl held up pretty well solidly. So here it is, the foot removed, and couldn't be any worse for wear. Would never have known there was a catch as bad as it was. Well, thanks for watching my video, and here's some still shots of the action and also the finished product. Till next time, looking forward to it. Cheers.